Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Friday, December 9th, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. Also, check out our perks and join the High Stakes membership. Joining the High Stakes membership is easy, is cheap, but it will help a lot in the growth process of this channel. Plus, if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. And make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Charlotte Hornets vs New York Knicks. The Knicks have won 3 of their last 5 games and 2 of their last 3 road games. They have played well offensively, even on the road where they are scoring more than 110 points per game. They are very aggressive on the offensive glass, which will give them more scoring opportunities, and they don't turn the ball over a lot. The Hornets aren't very good defensively and played worse in recent games, giving up at least 116 points in 3 of their last 4 games, and will have a hard time slowing down the Knicks. The Hornets have lost 4 of their last 5 games and 2 of their last 3 home games. They have struggled offensively, and they play worse at home where they are scoring less than 108 points per game. Their rebounding has been good and will keep them in the game, but they will have a hard time hanging on to the ball against the Knicks, who average more than 8 steals per game on the road. With the Knicks holding 2 of their last 3 opponents under 100 points, they won't have trouble slowing down the Hornets, so go with New York to cover the spread. Take New York Knicks -4 points. These teams are right at league average in terms of pace, as the Knicks are 13th in the sport with 100 possessions per 48 minutes, while the Hornets are 14th with 99.9 possessions per 48 minutes. The 3 ball is critical, and neither offense has been capable of shooting it consistently this year, as New York is 28th in the NBA with a 32 3-point percentage as a team, while Charlotte is barely ahead of them at 27th with a 32.4 3-point percentage as a team. The under has hit in the previous 4 Knicks games, as well as being 11-4-1 in the Hornets' previous 16 home games, so go with the under here as well. Orlando Magic vs Toronto Raptors. The Raptors tore apart the Magic last week in their first meeting of the season, shooting a season-best 56% from the field. OG Anunoby matched his season high with 32 points, and Pascal Siakam contributed 26 points and 10 rebounds for Toronto. It was a necessary bounce-back performance from the Raptors, who were blown out in their prior 2 games by New Orleans and Brooklyn. As a team, the Raptors are scoring 111.4 points per game. Their shooting numbers are nearly identical at home and on the road, as they shoot 45.1% at home and 45.0% in away games. Their field goal percentage is bottom 5 in the NBA, and their effective field goal percentage is second worst, per dunks and threes. Toronto's offensive rating, adjusted for strength of schedule, is ranked 12th highest, however. This is likely due to its superior offensive rebounding and lack of turnovers. The Raptors rank 2nd in turnover percentage, the percentage of possessions that result in a turnover, and 3rd in offensive rebounding percentage, the percentage of possible rebounds retrieved on offense. The Raptors' defense is also solid, holding their opponents to the 7th fewest points, 109.9, and rebounds, 42.0 per game. Their defensive efficiency rating is 11th best in the NBA. The Magic have been suffering from injuries, with Wendell Carter Jr., 16.6 ppg and 9.1 rpg, Jalen Suggs, 12.4 ppg and 5.4 apg, and Gary Harris, 10.3 ppg, all likely out on Friday. Harris missed the past 3 games with hamstring tightness, Suggs is out until at least mid-December with an ankle injury, and Carter Jr. is expected to be out for the rest of the month with a foot injury. Without these 3, there will be extra pressure on Orlando's young group to pick up the slack. The Magic shot 48.7% from the floor against Toronto last week, but were out-rebounded 43-29 and gave up 12 offensive rebounds. Toronto poured it in from the paint, scoring 70 of their 121 points around the basket. Orlando's opponents score on 65.8% of their shot attempts at the rim, the 8th highest percentage in the league. The Raptors also scored 29 points off of Magic turnovers. Will Banchero deliver the goods in consecutive games? This is what Orlando fans are wishing on a star, as the top pick of the 2022 draft scored 23 points, including 10 in overtime, to lead the Magic to an overtime victory over the Clippers. At 6'10" with point guard skills, Banchero is the league's next unicorn. 13 of 14 from the foul line versus LA, the Duke product is adept at getting to the line and creating points off his drives with a bruising, old-school style that still translates to the modern NBA game. The Raptors are 11th in defensive rating, but their opponents are shooting the 4th highest effective field goal percentage in the league and the 4th highest percentage at the rim. The Magic have a top 10 field goal percentage at the rim, within 5 feet of the hoop, and take 36.8% of their shots at the rim, one of the highest percentages in the NBA. Expect Banchero to bully his way into the paint, drawing fouls and distributing to Bol and Mo Wagner, who combined for 40 points last game against the Clippers. The Raptors are 1-6 at TS in their last 7 road games and 1-5 at TS in their last 6 Friday games. The Magic will ride the momentum of Wednesday's victory, scoring 60-plus points in the paint against Toronto's subpar interior defense. I'll bet the Magic cover the 7-point spread at Amway Center. Take the Magic plus 7 points. The Raptors, meanwhile, had an easy time getting past the visiting Los Angeles Lakers 126-113 on Wednesday. The Lakers were without LeBron James, Anthony Davis and Patrick Beverley. Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet each scored 25 points for the Raptors, who led by as many as 27 points and never trailed. Particularly encouraging for Toronto was the scoring output by VanVleet, who recently had been in a slump. Take the over here. Indiana Pacers vs Washington Wizards. The Wizards struggled over the past week and come into this game on a 3-game losing streak. They will try to snap their streak with a win over the Pacers, which will give them their first win in their last 7 road games. Washington is averaging 111 points per game. They scored 111 points in their last game, making 48.8% of their field goals and 29% of their 3-pointers. Kristaps Porzingis led the Wizards with 28 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. Kyle Kuzma finished with 21 points and 5 rebounds, while Monty Morris added 17 points and 8 assists. Washington has struggled defensively, giving up 112.6 points per game. They gave up 115 points in their last game and will need to do a better job if they want to win this game. The Pacers followed up their win over the Warriors with a loss to the Timberwolves in their last game. They will try to bounce back from the loss with a win over the Wizards, which will give them their second win in their last 3 games. Indiana is averaging 115 points per game. They scored 115 points in their last game, making 48.1% of their field goals and 45.2% of their 3-pointers. Therese Halliburton led the Pacers with 26 points and 15 assists. Buddy Hield finished with 26 points and 3 rebounds, while Miles Turner added 23 points and 7 rebounds. Indiana hasn't been as good defensively, giving up 116.1 points per game. They gave up 121 points in their last game and will need a significantly better performance if they want to get the win. The Pacers struggled on their road trip, but they are back home where they have won 4 of their last 5 games. They are very good offensively, especially at home where they are scoring close to 120 points per game. They are very aggressive on the offensive glass, which will give them more scoring opportunities. The Wizards aren't very good offensively, and they played worse in their last 3 games, giving up more than 120 points per game, and will have a hard time slowing down the Pacers. The Wizards have lost 7 of their last 8 games and 6 straight road games. They usually play well offensively, but they play worse on the road where they are averaging less than 110 points per game. Their rebounding is very good, which will keep them in this game, But they have been careless with the ball in recent games, which will lead to easy scoring opportunities for the Pacers, who are averaging more than 8 steals per game at home. The Pacers aren't very good defensively, but they played better in their last 3 games and won't have trouble slowing down the Wizards in this game, so go with Indiana to cover the spread. I really like the over in this matchup, as both teams' defenses struggle to limit chances, while the Pacers' offense is clicking on all cylinders. Indiana plays at a pace of 103.3, which ranks second in the NBA, while Washington plays at a pace of 98.9, which ranks 23rd, but I do expect Indiana to get an early lead, which will force them to play at a faster pace. As well, at home, Indiana is 6-4-1 in hitting the over, while Washington is 13-12 in hitting the over. In Indiana's last 10 games, the games are averaging 230.8 ppg, 230.4 ppg, which is why I like the over. A ton of points have been scored on these defenses, so take the over.